Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of German Politics Explained. You hopefully have seen the other episodes before. Today we are talking about the German Chancellor, die Bundeskanzlerin. I guess this is one of the most prominent figures in politics worldwide, and so many people know Angela Merkel. But in this video I want to explain generally what are the tasks of the Chancellor, how he does work, or she at the moment, and some other regulations around the office of the Chancellor, and of course the offices that are working directly for her. So I wish you a quite informative time, have fun, and let's start with the video. The Chancellor. The Federal Chancellor has an outstanding position in the federal government, hence the Chancellor principle. It shows in that she is the only member of the federal government elected by the Bundestag, and thus has a special democratic legitimacy. She may petition alone for the Bundestag to express its confidence in her. Refusal of the vote of confidence can lead to new elections. She can be overthrown solely by a vote of no confidence, whereby all her ministers lose their office. She has the right to propose the federal ministers for appointment and dismissal. That's Article 65 of the Basic Law, the Grundgesetz, our Constitution, while the Bundestag cannot force a minister to resign. She determines the policy guidelines and is solely responsible for them. Policy competence is the principal authority of the Chancellor. It assigns her leadership in the Cabinet, that's Article 65. She cannot be overruled by majority in the Cabinet. The Constitution gives the Chancellor the opportunity to keep her Cabinet tight. How she uses them depends on her personality, the support of her party and faction, and the weight of her coalition partners. The Federal Chancellor Konrad Adenauer, who was in office from 1949 to 1963, had such an undisputed position of power that for his reign the slogan was coined by the Chancellor democracy. Looking back, it can be seen that Adenauer's strong position was not so much derived from the competence of the directive, but was due to his personality and the political constellation. The subsequent chancellors have used their competence in directives in very different ways, depending on the political situation and their personal leadership style. Tasks of the Federal Chancellor. The Basic Law of the Federal Republic of Germany provides for the office of Chancellor a strong position. Thus, the Chancellor has under Article 64 of the Constitution the right to form the Federal Cabinet. The Chancellor proposes to the Federal President the candidates for the ministerial posts, and thus the member of the Federal Cabinet. The dismissal of the federal ministers is possible in the same way. In addition, the Federal Chancellor chairs the Federal Cabinet and heads the Cabinet meetings. Framework for government action. According to Article 65 of the Constitution, the Federal Chancellor determines the guidelines of government policy and bears the responsibility for doing so. This policy competence involves setting a framework for government action that each ministry completes with content. Within the guidelines determined by the Federal Chancellor, each federal minister heads his own business independently and under his own responsibility. This way of working is called the department principle. Agreements with government partners. The Federal Chancellor heads the business of the federal government according to rules of procedure approved by the Federal Cabinet and approved by the Federal President. She is only responsible to the Bundestag, the federal parliament. Often governments consist of coalitions that are entered into by two or more parties in order to have a majority in the Bundestag. Within this governing coalition, the Chancellor is bound by the agreements with the government partners if she does not want to burden the alliance unnecessarily. The Vice-Chancellor is the coalition partner. The Chancellor also decides on her deputies, that's Article 69 of the Constitution. This office is taken over by a federal minister. If it is a coalition government, usually a party member of the government partner is appointed as deputy. Commander-in-Chief. In the case of defense, the Chancellor has the command of the armed forces. That's Article 115b of the Constitution, the Grundgesetz. Approval of government policy. With the help of the vote of confidence, the Chancellor can make sure that her policy is supported by the Bundestag, hence Article 68 of the Grundgesetz. If the petition does not reach a majority vote of the deputies, or the members of parliament, better to say, the Federal Chancellor can propose the dissolution of the parliament to the Federal President. However, this right expires if the Bundestag elects a new Chancellor by a majority of its members.
So that's all for today about the Chancellor. I hope you could get some new information and it has been interesting to you, or for you. My English is getting worse, I guess. For now, I just want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. And don't forget to click the bell so you'll be informed when the next episode of German Politics Explained will come out. And I also don't mind likes for my videos if you liked it. And please do share my videos, especially the German Politics Explained videos, for your friends and family, so they also can get some more information about Germany if they're interested but they never really digged in. For now, I just want to say thank you for watching, have a nice day, and see you soon.